My name is Patience. I have 2 children, 2-year-old and a 4-month-old, boy and girl. I actually didn't think I was pregnant. That's the first thing. I didn't think because I just felt tired, so I thought I had malaria because I never thought I was going to be pregnant. So then I did the test, the rapid urine test, and it was negative. So I'm like, okay, I might have malaria. So the following Saturday, I went to the hospital and they checked. I didn't have malaria. And so the doctor said, okay, you have to do a pregnancy test. And I'm like, oh, no, but I did it. And it was negative. And he said, no, but let's just clear all doubts. I went to do it. And I was pregnant. And I'm like, no, but I can't be pregnant at this time. So, yeah. And then the second one was pregnant as well. So, but after the first, I decided to have the second one quickly so that, we can go on with our lives. And then the kids can grow up together and they'll be best friends. Hopefully, one wouldn't kill each other before their time and all that. So, yeah. I think people were nice when you're pregnant. They want to give you stuff, free stuff, offer you services you didn't even ask for. Basically, those are the things that you enjoy being pregnant. People are more willing to help in the house when you're pregnant, i.e. my husband. The whole pregnancy time was hard. Yeah, first trimester, you are tired, you are weak, you are vomiting. I had an extreme case of vomiting. My boss used to laugh at me at work. I used to vomit like 8 or 7 times a day. Yes, it was very bad. So couldn't drink water at all. They would say, oh, try and drink water. You have to drink the water, but it's not so easy. So you'd rather eat ice or have the ice and then you'll be sucking on it. Pregnancy is hard. I don't know if someone will say pregnant. Maybe people are lucky with pregnancy and then they don't experience the difficult times associated with pregnancy. But for me, most of the time, I was tired. Most of the time, I was vomiting way into my 3rd trimester. It's just difficult. So I was scheduled to have the delivery. I didn't have the oh, my water broke, oh, I'm going to the hospital. No. So I packed my bags, I went to the hospital, I was induced, and then I had a baby. So I didn't have the traditional, oh, I'm home, I'm eating, and then, oh, the baby is coming. No. So because the first one, I was overdue by, say, 2 weeks, way past my due date. And then I went to the gynae, and he's like, oh, but you are fine. You don't know why the baby is not coming. That was on Sunday. So on Tuesday, I realized that the baby was not kicking as much. So I went to another gynae for a second opinion. It's like, no, but this is an emergency. So why are you still in the house? Go home and then come back in the evening, bring your bags so that we can induce you, basically. So yeah, I went to the hospital and then they started the whole inducing at dawn, say 12. And then they gave me another medicine at, say, 4 at dawn. And then, yeah, I had my first boy somewhere around 11 in the morning. And it was the same with the second child too. I was also induced. So, but hers was a little bit longer than the first. But they were all induction. No traditional labor pains. Like, the baby is coming. So, let's go to the hospital. No. So, when I'm going, I know that I'm going to deliver and I come home. That's how mine goes. Both of them were the same, similar. Because the first one was overdue, he didn't also want to wait for the second one to be overdue or have any more complications. So hers was done at 39 weeks. Yeah, but the first one was overdue by 2 weeks. He didn't want to come out, but his rent had expired, so he had to come out. If I say painful, it's like something razor cut your hand, or no, it's a stream. I don't know, like at some point I was asking myself, why didn't I select elective cesarean? Because I hear that, I mean, yeah, you just go and lie. I don't know, so please forgive me, but I hear you say, oh, I want to do a cesarean, and then you go and lie down without labor, and then they'll just cut you open, and then you have your baby. So, but labor is horrible. And the fact that mine wasn't natural also adds to it. So, apparently, if labor is natural, your brain also sends signals so that your body can cope with the pain, and it's slowly. So, somebody can be in labor for like 12 hours or something. But mine wasn't like that. So, it's the medicine doing the job. So, the medicine is contracting and contracting. So, your brain can't give the signal to control the pain with your own system. So it's I don't know, it's difficult. I wish at a point that I had done elective CS, because then you don't go through as much pain. That's what I hear, but people should forgive me if it's not like that. But induced labor is, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. Like, it's just like that. If you don't have to do it, then just don't do it. I saw a video of the baby before I saw the baby. Fortunately for me, my hospital encourages people to be in the labor room with you. So I had my best friend and my husband in there with me. So they took a video of the baby. And then afterwards, they took the baby away to be cleaned. And then you stitched, and then they take you to your room, and then they bring the baby. So I saw a video of the baby before I saw the baby. And when I saw the baby, I was like, what do I want my breasts are no? But I mean, it was nice. It was nice. He was just sleeping. He slept the whole time. So I'll just go and I'll poke him to see, like, hey, are you alive? Like, just to make sure, because it was my first time. So I had no idea what to expect. You read about stuff, people will tell you about stuff, but experiencing it is different. So the baby was there. Like, I woke up, when I woke up, I had something to eat, and then they're like, oh, the baby is here. And then my mother brought the baby, and I was looking at him like, I wonder how my breasts are. And so all the vomiting, all the stress was you. But it was nice. It was a nice feeling, like, oh, yeah, I've been able to do something that somebody cannot do. Like, yeah, so you were the parasite in me. Because the babies are like a parasite. They are growing you, they are feeding off you and all that. But it was nice. It was like, oh yeah, finally we get to meet. We were together for like 9 or 10 months in your case, and finally you are here. I hope we become best friends. Adjustment. You can't go anywhere most of the time without thinking, oh, what's gonna happen? Or without, oh, I have to leave this child with somebody before I'm able to go out. Or, oh, the father is not there. Or even if the baby is with the father, oh, is he taking good care of the child? Is he eating well? Is he changing the diaper? One day I had to travel to Kumasi, like on a day's trip, and I left, it was just the boy then. So I left the 2 men in the house. And then every 30 minutes, I'll call to check. Hey, are you guys okay? Are you eating? Are you okay? Is he crying? So at a point, my husband was like, no, don't call me again if it's not anything important, because he's my son too, and I'm not going to let him go hungry or cry or anything. I'm not going to kill the child. So if it's not important, don't call me. Don't call me about the baby. Don't call me about Kaden or anything related to him if it's not important. That's the thing. You can't stop worrying, even if you know that they are with a trusted person. You can't stop worrying. When I go to work, for instance, and he's with a nanny, I have to call him, be checking, oh, is he fine? Is he okay? But I trust the nanny to take care of the child. But I think you just can't stop worrying. It's one thing. You just can't stop worrying. You are always in a hurry. You never finish doing anything in the house. Your house is not as clean as you want it to be. You are not as put together as you want to be. You can't read a single book without somebody tearing out a page. You can't do anything like it was. So I think after the baby, the whole life becomes an adjustment. And you have to be patient and try to let it flow. Because if you want to live life as if there was no baby while there is a baby, you can't cope. I think you learn that you have to be patient again, because you can't everything is different. Everything is, my son wakes up and everybody is asleep, then he'll come and he'll open your eye like that for you to know that he's awake, and then he'll just hand you a remote control to turn off the TV for you. He doesn't care whether you are still sleeping or you slept at 1 or whatever. No. So bibia basa. Initially I didn't. I mean, you would read about stuff, you know what you are supposed to do, but I didn't really know what I was doing. So it's like a trial and error phase. You try something, it works for you. You try another thing, it doesn't work for you. But as time goes on, you gain confidence. So you know, oh, he likes it this way, or oh no, he doesn't like it this way. When you are changing the diaper, no, he doesn't want to be on the floor, he wants to be on the couch. But somebody would say, oh no, don't change the diaper on the couch, the baby can easily turn. So you get to know that you have to know what works for. The baby is an individual with a different, like, his own personality. So you have to know the personality to know how best to deal with all of them. What my boy likes, the girl doesn't like. So you see that it's a continuous learning process, because the boy initially by say 8 he's asleep. The girl can go on around 11 and will still be awake. And it's, what can you do? You can't force the baby to sleep. So yeah, it's different. Everybody has something that they will tell you, but it's not everything that works for every person. So you experiment to see what works, what doesn't work, and then yeah, you take it from there. It's different for everybody. Are you kidding? Yes, you go through pregnancy, your body changes. It's not something you can escape. I mean, you try to say, oh, I want to stay the same, I want to stay the same size and all that, but ultimately it doesn't happen. It changes, Charlie. The stomach becomes some way. My body has changed. I mean, yeah. If you knew me before, you know that. Yeah. Like, at first I was like a size 6, now I'm a size 8. I'm lucky though. Somebody just from size 8 to 14. 2 children. I actually pity those who have more than 2. It's like, it should be like a war zone in their house. 2 kids. One will sleep, one won't sleep. The baby is a little bit troublesome now. So she doesn't really, her sleeping pattern is still yet to be formed. So you have to do a lot of rocking, a lot of singing, a lot of walking around before she sleeps. So when she sleeps and you're lucky to sleep, then 1 hour, 2 hours in between the sleep, the other one will wake up and want water or something. So the sleep patterns is not as it was before at all. At first I could sleep like the whole day. I could be home for the weekend and not step out of my room. I'll just sleep. But now it's not like that. So you have to be realistic that with people depending on you, things cannot be the same. Firstborn, first month, I was literally crying when I had to breastfeed. Oh my God, no. I don't have to think about it. It was painful. My nipples were sore. So when the baby is awake and my mother was with me then. So he's like, oh, but you have to breastfeed the baby. I'm like, I'll be crying within me like, oh God, no, not this one. This is so painful. It is painful. But I was also in expressing, because I knew that I had to go to work at a point. So the earlier the baby gets used to me not being around, the better, so that at least he will not disturb the person taking care of the baby. So I will express and I'll let somebody else feed the baby, because if the baby is with you, they won't drink via the bottle. So I was expressing as well. Yeah. But it's when you get a hang of breastfeeding, it's nice when the nipples are no longer hurting and the baby is latching properly. It no longer hurts, and you actually start to enjoy it, because it's one thing nobody can do for you. It's one thing that father can do for the child or the grandmother can do. So it's like a special moment between the two of you, and you get to enjoy it whilst everything is okay, no hurting, latching properly and all that. Well, yeah. And I don't think it's just me. I think, you see, when you have a baby, you have to adapt to the situation. So you can't do things as you were doing, like how you were doing things initially. You have to change. So initially you say, oh, I'm cleaning the house, so I'll have to do this and then do that and then do this. But now you have to do everything at the same time, because you realize that you don't have enough time anymore. You don't have enough time to finish mopping the place before you go and cook, before you wash. So you kind of do things at the same time. You cook and then you are cleaning and then you are mopping the floor, and you are telling somebody, yelling at somebody, hey, don't do that, hey, stop, hey, no, hey, this. So you adapt to the situation. You become like a hero. Yeah. And then you do everything you are supposed to do, but at the same time, because you also want some time to rest. You can't be doing it, cooking, cleaning, doing the domestic chores all day. You have to imagine if you have to also step out of the house to do something. You have to be able to manage your time and then know how to do the things you have to do to save yourself some time and some peace in the long run. So yeah, you have to do that, and I've learned that in the long run as well. It's like a 2 hour, 4 hour journey in and out with Accra traffic. So you wake up early, you have to go to work at a certain point in time, because hey, it's work. You can't use your baby as an excuse all the time. So, and you are not the only mother. You have to bear that in mind as well. People are doing it, so you have to do it too. You go to work, you do your job, you make some phone calls to the house to make sure everything is fine, and then you start the journey back. It's stressful. It's hard work, because you realize that if you don't do it well too, one aspect of your life will suffer. So it's a huge balance that you have to do. You have to balance the domestic one, the kids, and then the work aspect. But if you have I think my people are supportive of mothers. These days I hate going out because of the preparations. You have to pack food, diapers, wipes, diaper cream, change of clothes, like 2 change of clothes in a huge bag, because there are 2 children. It's like you're traveling overnight. So it's like a whole preparation, even if you have to step out for like 2 hours, because you don't know what's going to happen when you go out. You don't want to take less and then realize that when you go that you needed more. Then you might either have to buy or come back quickly. So I try not to go out as much as possible. Oh yeah, I have a whole conversation with the 3-month-old these days. We can sit down and be talking. Yeah, we can do that for like 20 minutes. And I know maybe she understands me, but I'm yet to understand her language. But it's a conversation. When you're alone, we talk. We have a whole conversation. I'll be talking. Yeah, you know this happened. Yeah, I mean, ordinarily you wouldn't expect somebody to be talking to a 3-month-old, right? But it happens, and then he would dance with the other one when his favorite song is playing. And he has a funny way of dancing, so yeah, I have to dance like that with him. He's hopping like a frog, so you have to dance like that. It's unusual, but it's something they enjoy, so yeah, you have to do it. It's something you have to do. A lot. So I think what that basically means is that because everybody's baby is different, so people try to write about their experience with their baby, and their experience with their baby might not be the same. Their baby might not be the same as my baby, so the experience will not work for me. So let's take for instance, they say what? Wait. Yes, the baby, don't give the feeding bottle to a baby because it will cause nipple confusion. But it worked for me because I realized that, look, I'm not going to stay at home for 6 months to do exclusive breastfeeding. At some point in time, I'll be away. So if I don't let my baby get used to the bottle now, when I go away, whoever is taking care of them will be very unhappy because then the baby doesn't know anything apart from sucking milk from the breast, and it's going to be very bad. So what I do in the beginning is that when I'm home, I'll express some milk and give it to somebody else to feed them. It will cause confusion for like a week, but as time goes on, they become used to it. So they don't care where the source of nourishment is coming from again. They just want the nourishment. And when you go to work, that's something that you are going to praise yourself that you did. At least for me, it's working. Somebody will say, no, I don't want to do that because it will cause nipple confusion for my child. But for two of them, so far, it's worked perfectly. And I'm doing that for the 4 months. So I think it has to do with dealing with unwanted advice. I think everybody means well when they tell you to do something, but it's up to you to either accept it or not. And people feel offended if they tell you to do something and you don't do it. Example, giving newborns water. Somebody will say, oh, but you have to give the baby water. So why are you not giving the nipah water? You know, they will tell you to give your baby water, but you might not want to give your baby water because you think at this point I don't want to give the baby water. Then somebody will say, oh, next for no crowd, mama. So it's like, you know, people mean well, but it's just you think it's not needed. You think, oh, far in your body nine, every man and nine to I can see like God. But maybe you don't want to do it, or you know why you don't want to do it, but they might think, oh yeah, you don't know anything, so me a penny. I've had like 6 kids or 7 children, so what I'm saying is the best. But you like, yeah, it worked for you, but I don't want to use that on my child. And they might think, oh, we too no pa. So I think that's how to deal with it. So now what I do is, if you tell me to do something, I'm like, oh, okay, yo, mate, me try, but in the comfort of my home, you are not there with me. So if I don't do it, you will not know whether I did it or not. When my first was about walking, somebody came and was like, hey, I've brought you medicine to let the child walk early. Meanwhile, the child was 10 months. So I don't know how early they wanted the baby to walk. So I'm like, oh, sir, yo, me da say. And then I took it. And then I didn't apply it. Because if you don't take it, that can bring like a family feud or something. So I took it and I just kept it somewhere. And he walked before he was 1. So what was the rush? He's in his milestone. So that's basically, everybody wants to give you an advice, and I think that's the most challenging part of the whole thing. You realizing that you can impact somebody's life, I think it is the most rewarding thing ever. you can say, oh, okay, I have a son and I want him to grow up to do domestic work. That is good. For me, I think one of the best things anybody can do for their son is to let them do domestic work, because it's a it's a life strength. You you are cooking, you are nourishing yourself. You don't need somebody to come and cook for you before you eat. So these are the basic things. I think it's rewarding when you know that you can impact somebody's life as positively as you can, and in so doing you are really careful what you impact to them, because in as much as you are trying to let them learn the positives, if you are not careful, they might also learn some negatives from you. You will hear that children don't listen, they watch you do stuff. So that's it. You have to not only say it but also act in such a way that your child would see what you are doing and would want to do same, not just what you are saying or what you are telling them to do, basically. So yeah.